Normally, I do a vlog in between my TBR and my wrap up, but this month I needed to change the plan a little bit because neither of the vlogs I'm working at are ready. So you get the wrap up early, and we talk now about all the books that I've hauled in the month of March now, that I've read, and that I will be unhauling now after the month. So let's start with the books that I've hauled. Again, I shouldn't do promises here to do better because again, I hauled a bunch of books, more than I've planned, but that's okay. We start with the ebooks. The first one is Daggermouth by H.M. Wolf, the first book in a dystopian duology, and it is one of the books that I've put on my April TBR and that I already started reading. So hopefully I can put the vlog about dystopian novels out soon because this book so far very very promising. That's all I will say here. You need to wait for the vlog, but again, I'm sure it will come soon. And the next book is the sequel of a series that I started. It is Come to Me Recklessly by A.L. Jackson, the third book in the Closer to You trilogy. Don't ask me why this trilogy is called Close to You, because every single book title starts with Come to Me. So that's what I expected the series to be called, but no, it is the Close to You trilogy. And as far as I did my research here, book 1 and 2 that were on my TBR and are on my 26 for 2026 list are the story of one couple, so a duology. And the third book here now is the story of her brother and his best friend. And I already started reading the series now in April and also want to finish it in April. We will see if I can accomplish that, but I'm working on it. And the last ebook that I have here is Midnight Mass by Sierra Simone, a novella in the Priest series. So, spicy taboo romance. And I wasn't aware of the fact that this book was out for years now. I thought it was a new release now in the end of March, but the new release was just the new paperback. So I got the ebook now. I can read it now. I don't think I will get to it in April, but I want to read it in May because I want to stay on track with the series that I've started and when new releases are coming out. But I'm already booked out in April, so May it is for this book, which means we can come now to the print books that I've got. The first book is a print book that I've waited a long time for now. I've pre-ordered this in November and it was a December release, but my pre-order got cancelled and I couldn't order it anymore from Amazon for whatever reason. I don't understand it. I can just buy the ebook there. But a friend of mine told me she ordered it from a different seller and she got her copy in February. So I did the thing. I went to the different seller and ordered it there, and it came now in March. It is Hollow by Susan Valenti and Caroline Peckham, their newest series, and as always, dark fantasy, so I can't wait to give this new series a try. I don't know when book 2 comes out, but I know they already set a date for Lightwing. I haven't done my research here yet, as you can tell, but I think it was called Lightwing. And I also think this will be a trilogy, but again, I could be wrong here. I haven't looked too much into it because I want to go in blind in book 1 and then decide if I want to read the rest of the series. And I also decided to read this book after I finished the Darkmoor Penitentiary series by the same authors, because normally after the Darkmoor Penitentiary series, I planned to read the Sins of the Zodiac series, but that will be more than 3 books. Book 3 came out now in March, and they set the release date for the final book, book 4, for spring next year. And I already know these authors are big in cliffhangers, and that is why I decided to wait until next year to read the Sins of the Zodiac series. So after Darkmoor Penitentiary, I have time to give this series a try. Oh, and I didn't want to forget to show you the sprayed edges here. Very pretty, but we can go on to the next book now, which is another special edition, this time a German special edition for A Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabah Tahir, with sprayed edges. This is book 4 in the An Amber in the Ashes series, and I finally want to start the series now that I have all books here. So I set An Amber in the Ashes on my April TBR, and I also want to show you the naked hardback because that's the reason I bought these books, because I think they are super, super pretty. And I heard a lot of good things about this series, so I can't wait to read it. And here we have the last 5 books that I've heard. They are all part of the same series, because in March I watched the Young Sherlock series on Amazon Prime, and I loved it and realized this is a book adaptation, and that I had book 1 to 3 on my TBR. They are one of the oldest books on my TBR because they are from 2015, and I put them on my 26 for 2026 list to read them. But now they have even higher priority because I loved the series. I'm a big fan of Sherlock Holmes, and I want to read the books now. But the series contains not 3 books, but 8. And I did the only right thing here. I bought book 4 to 8 to complete my set of the Young Sherlock Holmes series. So I will probably do a full vlog on the series. I put the first 3 books of Young Sherlock Holmes on my April TBR, but my April TBR was very, very ambitious, so I don't know if I will get to them. But if not, I will start the series definitely in May and will continue the series right away. So hopefully I can read these books soon. But that's it for the books that I've hauled. 7 physical books, 3 ebooks, so 10 books in total, which is a lot. But have I read more than that? Let's find out and talk about the books that I've read in March. As always, we start with the ebooks, and we start with Rule of Wolves by Lee Bardugo, the second book in the King of Scars duology, and the final book in the Grishaverse. I really, really liked this series. I think it is my favorite because I liked the depth of the story, the emotions, the drama, the plot twists, the character development. And I know the fan favorite of the Grishaverse is the Six of Crows duology, but I wasn't really emotionally invested. And all in all, the whole Grishaverse wasn't really for me. I don't know if I'm a little bit too old for it because the books were really, really good. Don't get me wrong. They weren't just 100% for me, and that's okay. But I'm still glad that I've read the Grishaverse, and maybe I will watch the series soon. We will see. And I also finished another series, the Heart-Based series by Stephanie Ross with Book 4 here. It is a German romantic suspense series set in a small town in the USA. And Book 4 now was my least favorite of the whole series because I liked the character before when he appeared in Book 1 to 3, but in Book 4 he acted completely different, was super misogynistic, and had a lot of temper, and I wasn't a fan of that. But I still enjoyed reading the story for the suspense plot. That was really, really good again. And I'm still glad that I've read the series now. And now I've read two more ebooks. The first one is Silver Elite by Danny Francis, where I haven't heard the best things before I started the book, but I wanted to make my own opinion here, which I did. It wasn't the best book ever. There were a lot of things that didn't make sense to me, and not only to me, but also for my buddy read partners. And I can understand the controversy that appeared before this book was officially published, because there was a whole discussion if this book is written by AI. And I understand why, but the publisher confirmed that this is not written by AI, that this is written by a real person, even if it is under a pseudonym. But in my opinion, not really well written. And I decided to not continue with the series. But after that, I tried another dystopian series, the first book of the Reform series by Ariel Sullivan, Conform. And even if I have things that I criticize, I found this concept way more interesting because it was a bit different to the dystopian novels that I've read before. And I am interested to read more of this series or more this universe, because after book one of the Reform series was published, Ariel Sullivan published now the first book of the spin off series. I don't know how the series is called, but the book is called Beneath, and it is set in the same world. And I think it is also set before the Reform series and tells the story of the rebels. We will see. I put it on my wish list to give it a try, but I don't know when, because right now I read some other dystopian novels. I finished To Cage a Wild Bird now in April for the same vlog, and I'm reading Daggermouth now. which could be my favorite of the four series that I've tried or that I'm trying because I'm reading the last book now. But you will find out when I will publish my dystopian vlog. So that's it for the ebooks. Let's talk about the physical books that I've read. And the first book is a new release from February. It is Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinneman, a standalone sci-fi novel from the author that wrote Dungeon Crawler Carl. But it has nothing to do with Dungeon Crawler Carl. And I DNF'd this book, sadly. I was disappointed, not because the book was bad, but because it wasn't for me. I didn't like the humor, I didn't like the storytelling. It lacked emotion for me, which is why I decided to DNF it 100 pages into the book, because at this point I also saw other booktubers talking about the book and having same experiences, criticizing the same things. And they also talked about that these things don't change until the end of the book, even if it holds a very, very serious and important message. And I get the message here, but I didn't enjoy reading it. So I DNF'd, but I didn't DNF Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, the first book in the Letters of Enchantment duology. This is the book I've read in the last Read With Me's on Thursdays, and I already put my review of it online, so you can watch it if you want. But I was a fan of Divine Rivals. I loved the writing here. I loved the character development and especially the development of the relationship between the characters. We have rivals to lovers here and a lot of serious topics because at some point of the story they are both war correspondents. So they write articles about the war. They are at the front and see what's happening there to tell all the other people. And even if I don't understand why this needs to be fantasy at this point, I loved the storytelling and can't wait to continue this duology. And I'm also intrigued to see how this story will continue, because I started the Darkmoor Penitentiary series by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti in March. Caged Alpha is the first book. There are 4 in total, and I plan to read 1 book per month now. So I should finish the series in July, and you will get a whole vlog on the series. So I'm already working on that, but you need to have a little bit of patience here to see it. It is a dark fantasy again. It is reverse harem. So I understand that this is not for everyone, but so far I'm liking this more than the Roseless Boys series by the same authors. So fingers crossed it will stay like that, and I will get a little bit more into the romances, because so far the part I'm rooting the most for is the plot itself, which was the same with Ruthless Boys. But Ruthless Boys was a lot and lot and lot of spice and lacked the other parts, so I have my hopes up that this will be different here. And then we have 3 books by the same author. I already have the vlog up on my channel about science thrillers by Mark Ellsberg. I've read 4 books of him before, and I now read the last 3 ones, which were Celsius, Gear, or this one in English, Greed, and his newest publication, Eden. And I loved each and every single one of them. But I loved Celsius and Eden a little bit more than Green because these were both focused on different aspects of the climate change. And this was about economics, which is not right up my alley. But I can't wait to read more of Mark Ellsberg, and I will definitely read whatever he is publishing in the future. I know I have to wait for it. This book was now published in February, and it takes a while for him to write a book because he's doing a lot of research. These books are super, super realistic, which is why they are scary. They show catastrophe scenarios that are really possible in our future. But that's exactly why I love his books. And if you love scientific thrillers, please take a look at the vlog. Take a look at his books. Not all of his books are available in English, but a few of them. And if I can only give you one recommendation of his books, it is Blackout. So do with that what you want. The next book was a buddy read with my constant buddy read partner, Michelle. It is Loving Lucas by Jay McLean, the first book in the Preston Brothers series. In English, this is called Lucas. And I had really, really high expectations on this book because somebody told me before that this series has Boys of Tommen vibes, which is one of my most loved series ever. You can see it behind me, but it didn't fulfill my expectations. I get why it is compared to the Boys of Tommen series, but I think especially the sensitive and problematic topics here weren't really well done, and there was lots of problematic and toxic behavior that wasn't discussed as problematic and toxic, which is why I had a big problem with the story and why I decided to not continue with the series. And here we have another DNF. This is Cottage gesucht, Held gefunden by Susan Elizabeth Phillips. The English title is Heroes Are My Weakness. And I read exactly 12 pages before I DNF'd, which is not that much. But I couldn't get over the fact that our adult female main character talked with her hand puppets as if they were real humans. They all had different personalities. They talked back to her. They wanted to protect her. Another one bullied her. And I wasn't into that. It gave me the ick, which is why I DNF'd so early in the story. But I already knew at this point the story isn't for me and I shouldn't spend my time with it. And now to the last two books that I've read. They are both part of the same series, and I finished the series now after years. So I'm very proud I did this now. As Heroes Are My Weakness, they were on my 26 for 2026 list. And you will see more of these books in my next 26 for 2026 vlog. But for now, I can tell you I've read The Last First Night and The Last First Song. This is a German new adult series. These are book 3 and 4 in the series. They are not available in English. And I'm 100% sure if I would have read these books when they were published around 10 years ago, I would have been a big, big fan of it. And I can't remember that I enjoyed book one and two very, very much. But now in 2026, reading the stories, they were a bit basic to me, a bit too much what we've read in a lot of new adult books from this time, and nothing that really stand out. But don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed my time with them. I loved to read them. They were super entertaining, and I also loved the topics of the stories. But again, we had a big change, especially in new adult books or romances in general, in the last 10 years. And you can clearly see that when you read books from 10 years ago, which is a good thing, by the way, that we had this change, that some topics are handled more sensitive now. And I'm very, very curious what I will say about a lot of books that I have on my TBR since 2015. But we will get to that at another point because that's it for now. 14 books that I've read, 10 books that I've heard. So, in numbers, I've reached my goal. I've read more than I hauled, and even the stakes show that. So, I'm very happy with this result. I'm proud of myself that I did it again, even if I hauled more books than I wanted originally. So let's go now to the last point of this vlog and talk about the books that I want to unhaul now at the end of the month. And yes, you can already guess there are books that I want to unhaul. Let me pick them. And here we have the three candidates that I will definitely unhaul. Operation Bounce House, Lucas by J. McLean, and Heroes Are My Weakness by Susan Elizabeth Phillips. They need to go. They will find another home. I will put them in my little free library here. And maybe in the future, more of these books will go, like these two books, and maybe also the Dagmar Penitentiary series. I can't make a decision here yet, and I won't do it. I won't pressure myself into letting books go if I'm not 100% sure if I want to keep them or not, which is the case with the first series by Bianca Yosivoni. And with Dagmar Penitentiary, I only have read book one of the series. I have three books to go. And of course, I will only make my decision when I DNF a series or when I finish the series. So this decision needs to wait. But I'm very happy with this result. And again, I hope they find another home where they will be loved. But for now, for me, that's it. Please tell me in the comments what you have read in March. What was your favorite book? What was your least favorite book? Have you read any of these books and want to talk about it? Please do that in the comments. Like this video if you wanna, follow my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!